Welcome back. In this video, we'll explore one of the most fascinating aspects of pregnancy, epigenetics. This powerful field of science reveals how your lifestyle and choices during pregnancy can influence the expression of your baby's genes, shaping their health and resilience for years to come, as well as impacting their children. So future generations can be impacted by your decisions right now during pregnancy. It is not just about carrying your baby, you are shaping their environment. And the best part, you have more influence than you might realize to ensure that this environment is nurturing, supportive, and empowering. So, what is epigenetic expression? Epigenetics refers to the changes in gene expression caused by external factors without altering the underlying DNA sequence. Think of your baby's genes as a piano and your lifestyle choices as the hands playing the keys. You can influence which notes or genes are expressed or muted based on the environment you create during pregnancy. So this is particularly important because your baby's cells are rapidly dividing and differentiating. Every organ, tissue, and system is being developed, and the signals they receive from you play a critical role in how these genes are activated. So let's break this down into some practical examples of how your daily choices can impact your baby's epigenetic expression. Nutrition is one of the most fundamental ways that you can have impact on your baby's expression in epigenetics. Foods that are rich in folate, choline, and omega-3 fatty acids help support DNA methylation, a process critical for healthy gene expression. This can have impacts on whether or not your baby has an MTHFR gene expression or has effects by having MTHFR issues. So this can lead to developmental issues, or it can lead to like tightness and tension in their muscles. Even I oftentimes experience this or feel this in babies they just have these like super rigid muscles all the way around their traps and their upper back muscles, and they just stay super in a like kind of a stressed response. And oftentimes nutrition that helps to create a healthy MTHFR or methylation type of expression actually helps them with being more relaxed and just easy, peaceful type of behavior with their way of creating an epigenetic neurological expression. So antioxidant-rich foods protect your baby's developing cells from oxidative stress, which can damage DNA. That's another way that you're helping to protect against like cancer down the road and tumors or other strange like types of things like fibroids and stuff that can form in the tissues of your body or your baby's body. So you're helping with your nutrition and the foods that you're taking in, the nutrition that you're taking in, and not just from taking a prenatal supplement, because prenatals are just the foundational elements for building blocks from vitamins, but the food itself actually has epigenetics. So like everything has genes that is living. The actual vegetables, like the plants, they have living epigenetic expression in their DNA. So as you're eating a live plant, you're eating a big, healthy, nutrient-dense salad, you're actually eating the plant's DNA, and that is upgrading how your own DNA is expressing. Your own DNA obviously upgrades the baby's, as we just now talked about. Now, whenever we're eating an animal, like animal meat is important too because it provides that wonderful protein and all these amino acids and everything else as building blocks, but it's dead. The flesh of the animal is dead, and by the time that it's like being cooked, then you're eating building blocks, just building blocks. That's what you're like consuming, and your body can use it as scaffolding in the architectural design of the way that it's using these type of fuel sources. And that is very important. But living plants that are phytonutrient rich and as diverse as possible, so you're getting a wide array of information from the epigenetics of the plants, that's what's going to have this impact. So that's whenever we're referencing antioxidant rich foods like the berries that you're eating, like all the different types of organic raspberries, the blueberries, the cherries, and like the differences between all of these things and how that it creates expression. Or like really leafy green, like the kale and the spinach and all the different arugula, and these all have so many different factors of epigenetic expression. So whenever we're talking about a phytonutrient-wide diet, that is why, because it's the diversity and it's this information that helps your own cells with those epigenetic expression and those upgrades, and that's what creates architectural change for epigenetic expression in your baby. I love it. I get super excited about it. Okay, now let's talk about lifestyle factors, mindfulness factors, and how you can actually have an element of support for emotional resilience, emotional regulation for your baby. So they're healthy mentally and neurologically. They're able to have a just more of a relaxed way of going about life, a peaceful way, happy way of expressing and being and behaving in life. So chronic stress elevates cortisol in you, which can cross the placenta and impact your baby's stress responses later in life. It actually can create a neurological response for them to know or feel how stressful the environment is around them. So you can actually have mindfulness lifestyle choices that can help to shift out of a sympathetic overdrive response and shift more into a parasympathetic and rest, relax, digest, regeneration type of mode. And this is what can help their own polyvagal theory response, which means their own way of receiving in autonomic nervous system stimulation, which tells them how stressed out they should be or need to be right now for a certain experience. It helps them to feel more regulated, calm, and peaceful, so they can feel more relaxed and joyful. And mindfulness and meditation and deep breathing exercises can actually lower the cortisol responses in you and create a calm and supportive environment that they receive in the uterus. So, what mindfulness practices do you have? I would love for you to adopt a daily meditation, visualization, or mindfulness type of routine so that you can set your mindfulness patterns for the rest of the day and at night as you're going into sleep. And that's the state that your baby is able to grow the most in and create the most neurological connections in. That's where you go into a very energetically mindful sleep pattern, so that energetically they're receiving in the quantum physics of a peaceful, beautiful state that's perfect environment for optimizing their expression epigenetically, energetically, and also from that mindfulness level. Let's talk about how epigenetics can actually be very impacted by environmental toxins, like exposure to toxins like BPAs, plastics, phthalates, or heavy metals can disrupt epigenetic factors. And these can be found in so many different products, like BPAs and so many different types of plastics. And so the cookware that you cook with, like spatulas, you want to make sure that you're upgrading that for only metal, and make sure that you have a type of ceramic cookware that you're cooking in. So you're not cooking with like the, what are those called? Oh, it's horrible. It's like the non-stick skillets. They are just filled with toxins and chemicals that can absorb into your food, and then that goes directly to the baby. Heavy metals, that's from vaccines and just those kinds of things. Over time, they just build up in our bodies. Fillings, thankfully, nowadays in younger generations, there aren't as many of those metal fillings, but they were very prevalent for a long time. And so making sure that you have cleared all heavy metals from your system as much as possible. There's so many different things that can have significant difference in how your baby's total toxic burden is developing. So everything, about 50% of the mother's total toxic burden of all the different toxins that she's built up throughout her entire life, about 50% of that will pass to the first baby. It's actually one of our body's biggest forms of detox, is having a baby. And then another, about 20% can pass through breast milk. But that's not to say don't breastfeed if you haven't had a chance to detox pre-pregnancy. That's definitely not what that means. It's always going to still be much more non-toxic to breastfeed, no matter what, bar none. There's nothing out there on the market as far as like formulas and things that even come close. So that's important that we said that. But it is important to note that so many of those toxins can go to the baby. So anything that is coming in, all of the things, all the surfaces that we're touching, even whenever we're out and about in public settings that you can't control the amount of toxins, make sure that you're just being very mindful and careful of how those toxins can come into your body. So be mindful of what your air you're breathing, what water you're drinking, what foods you're eating, and all the things that you're touching. So just know that you're protecting your baby, and your baby's first line of defense against toxins is you. That's your skin, your alimentary tract, and what you're eating, and how you're drinking the water, and how you're breathing in the air. So you're protecting your baby. And there are many things that you can do to create non-toxic space for your baby. And you want to definitely be prepping and nesting in a way that is non-toxic, so that your baby has the best chance of having the best environment for it once it is born. Let's talk about movement and what movement does for your baby. So gentle exercises can improve circulation and support oxygen delivery to your baby, and this enhances cellular health and energy production of the mitochondria. The ATP, which is the energy molecules, can be produced at all the right levels that the baby needs for nurturing their cells and their cell health. And so you moving your body intentionally, just like going for a walk or moving in certain ways, mindful yoga and mindful types of qigong movements, like qi movements, that's a way that you can actually move your own energy centers, energy patterns. And it's not like woo type of tea or like something that's very unusual type of energy. It's more of like, no, this is your nervous system regulating. Every time that you're moving intentionally your body, your nervous system is making new neural connections, and that is having an impact on your own baby's neurological connections. So you definitely want to have a mindful movement practice every single day. And I recommend that you follow my little Qigong for pregnancy movement videos, because they're intentionally set in a way that it's stretching your fascia and creating a really healthy fascial response. So neuromusculoskeletal centers are able to be as healthy as possible. And also it's moving your chi in a way, and your energy patterns in a way that is creating that healthy nervous system regulation for both you and your baby. Another very important factor for epigenetics and just optimization in utero is quality sleep for you. How well you're sleeping means how well the baby is sleeping inside of you. And this helps regulate your hormones, your neurotransmitters, and also balances the nervous system's connection to the baby, for helping it to feel as deep of a state of regeneration, restoration, and also all that healthy type of regulation for it growing as in the way that is as connected, and the cells are responding physiologically and biochemically as well as possible. And this is vital for your baby's development. Your baby is crossing so many milestones as it's going through development, and it's so important that you are sleeping so regeneratively and so deeply. And this can change during pregnancy, because your body is changing, and so it's important that you have like a long body pillow, like a pregnancy pillow, and that you're supporting your breasts as they're developing, because they are growing, and that is important that you have that gravity isn't pulling on them in certain ways. And it's important that you have a way to prop up your belly as it is starting to grow, so that whenever you lay on your side, because you obviously can't sleep on your back much anymore as you are developing to where the baby is, then the weight of the baby pushes on the abdominal aorta. It can be uncomfortable, and also that's your lower body blood flow to the rest of your body below the pelvis. So that's important that you're not cutting that off. So you're sleeping on your side as you're going through pregnancy, and then you want to make sure that you have your knees propped up on the pillow, that you're supporting the neuromusculoskeletal connection of your hips ratio, because your hips are widening as they're opening the pelvic floor to prep for delivery, for the birthing process. And so as your hips are widening, then your knees are also supported, because we want to make sure that you have a healthy perpendicular type or a parallel type of movement of or like space for your hips to your knees to your ankles ratio, and that's propped up on the pregnancy pillow. So that's important, that the way that you're sleeping is in a very consciously postural way, and also that you're going into deep enough sleep. So that can mean you getting into a mindfulness set or like a mindfulness meditation or breathwork session before, so that you're going into a healthy nervous system regulation. You're calming your thoughts and you're not in a stressed out mood mindset, and you're able to go into a very deep restorative sleep and sleep long enough and deeply enough. This is all important, that you have healthy sleep environment for epigenetic expression. What's so fascinating is that the choices that you make during pregnancy do not just impact your baby, they also affect future generations. So the epigenetic changes that occur during this time can be passed down, creating a ripple effect for health and resilience. The foods you eat today may influence your baby's preferences for metabolic health and metabolic health overall as far as their weight levels as an adult. Your ability to manage stress can shape your baby's emotional regulation response and emotional resilience throughout big stressors or traumas that they may experience in life. Detoxing your environment can reduce the risks of harmful toxins affecting your child and even their children, and impacting or influencing chances of cancer or tumors or any other factors that can lead to chronic diseases. You are creating a legacy of health one choice at a time, and it is having a ripple effect on your future generations. So here are some actionable steps that you can take to optimize your baby's epigenetic expression. Eat a colorful plate, including a variety of fruits, vegetables, and high-quality proteins to provide the nutrients and building blocks that your baby needs, with as much phytonutrient diversity as possible, as many different colors. You get brownie points for getting to 30 different types of foods, and this can be from all the different plants, the seasonings, the spices, the herbs, the different types of factors that you're cooking with, as far as like how many different types of fresh vegetables versus cooked vegetables you're putting on your plate. If you can get to 30 different types of plants every single day, then you are doing amazing work, incredible work. So just find that by putting a little bit of cilantro, a little bit of parsley that's fresh on your plate, and then have a little orange and have a little bit of some other, like if you cook with rosemary, thyme, and oregano for your herbs, and then a little bit of paprika and cumin or something like that, then you just now got to at least 6, 7 different types. And that's not even with your core vegetables. And then you put in carrots with some cardamom and some cinnamon even, and you add in black pepper and garlic powder, and that makes a delicious type of roasted carrots. Then you can add in some vegetables. If you do a salad a day, it's so easy to get 30 different plants in that salad. It is a piece of cake, especially if you get like spring mix, where there are like 7 or 8 different types of baby vegetables. So as much diversity and as many different colors as possible. That's a good goal to have. Reduce inflammation overall. Incorporate in anti-inflammatory foods like turmeric and ginger and wild-caught salmon. And make sure that you are hydrating with a purpose. Drinking clean, filtered water, reverse osmosis water with added minerals back in, electrolytes added in, and high pH levels if you can. And avoid sugary or processed beverages. It's just that's not a fuel source. Make sure that it's coming from really healthy water, at least ideally 90 ounces of water every single day. That's a good goal to have. And manage your stress daily. So set aside time for mindfulness, yoga, or movement practices, qigong flows, deep breathing. And if you get stressed out the day, if you're stressed at work or whatever, something external environments-wise, like an experience that you're having, make sure that you have tools for deep breathing techniques that you can shift yourself into a more relaxed state and parasympathetic state as quickly as possible, so you're not staying in sympathetic overdrive. Plan to detox your space, like swap out plastic containers for glass, avoid scented candles, they're harmful chemicals, choose all natural cleaning products and beauty products and even your self-care products and the toothpaste that you use and the dishwasher detergents and et cetera. Make sure that you are making mindful choices as much as you can control it, because we can't always control our external environment around us in this toxic world. At least at our home, we definitely need to make sure we're controlling that as much as possible and setting the stage, prepping for the baby to be as healthy as possible while it's crawling around on the floor. Prioritize good, healthy sleep and set aside enough time for a good bedtime routine. Avoid blue light in the evenings. Make sure your sleep environment is as restful and restorative as possible, and get into a healthy nervous system regulation right before you go to sleep. Stay active, like gentle movements like walking, prenatal yoga can improve the circulation, reduce stress, or qigong flows, like I was saying earlier, that can be wonderful for moving the energy and helping with your own nervous system regulation and that of the babies. Before we close, let's just do a quick little visualization to anchor in the importance of your role in this journey. So take a deep breath and close your eyes. Feel your baby surrounded by a golden white light, warm and nurturing, and see this light as a reflection of all the love, care, and intention you're putting into creating a healthy environment. With each breath, visualize their cells glowing with vitality, and their organs forming perfectly, and your baby growing strong as their body is building all of those wonderful building blocks for every cell to be optimally growing and connecting to the other organ systems and your nervous system to create the wonderful neuroelectrical connections between the neurons, between the neuronal poles. Every single nerve, every connection, it's perfect and optimized. Know that every positive choice you make contributes to this light, creating a beautiful foundation for your baby's future. Take in one more breath and feel that peace and love as you connect to your baby, feeling their gratitude and appreciation for you taking on every choice in an empowered way. You are truly a powerful creator, and I am so honored to be with you in this journey. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of epigenetics and how the choices you make each day, they're such a gift to your baby, setting them up for a lifelong health and resilient life, vitality and wellness. Thank you, and plan to choose one new habit this week to support your baby's epigenetic health, whether it's improving your diet, managing stress, or reducing toxins. I am so honored to guide you through this journey, and in this next video, we will dive deeper into the power of functional nutrition during your pregnancy. I look forward to seeing you there.